Hi, it's Sunshine. I think I'm here. Let me go find um, my chat, and so that I can um, put a link if anyone would like to join me. So I am calling today's little, you know, okay. So focus, Vicky. Oh wait, that's why I wrote stuff down. Okay, so this is how things have been for me um, the past few days, and call it energy, call it whatever you want to. This is something that's been happening to me for a while, but it just seems to be ramping up. And I gotta stop. I gotta mute myself. Duh. Okay, where am I at? Okay, so concentrate. So let's start from the beginning. The first time I actually experienced a cognitive uh, glitch in the hologram or glitch in the matrix or whatever you want to call it. And this is would be a physical one, because I think that deja vu actually might be a mental glitch that we experience, which I think people are far more familiar with. But let's talk about my first physical. So this actually happened on my 50th birthday. I was standing outside. It was evening time before sunset. Sorry to keep moving. I won't move the table anymore, I promise. Okay, so, and I was standing outside because I was detecting a super, super strong energy at the time. I felt as though it was due to the other planetary bodies being extremely close to us. And I had been actually watching that for a while, but this is the first time I could actually see some energetic physical effects of that reality. And anyway, what I could see in the air, and I've talked about this before because I've seen it again since in different forms, but I could see like electrical spark in the air. Now, I'm wondering, is this magic that I was experiencing? Some kind of magic. And it very well could have been, which is pretty cool too. I'm not complaining about that. But regardless, it makes me think now. I didn't think of this at the time, but it made me think then about or since then I've thought about like Mickey Mouse with his wizard wand and stars. Okay, because that's kind of what it's like a sparkler. Okay, so anyway, so I was seeing that in my visionary focus, and then I looked over to my shed. Now I've told this story before, so just bear with me because we're getting to today. But hey, it's this is all leading up to something, and this is my personal experience. I mentioned it actually on Jay Chris's channel. Um, he went live today, um, and his thing is the Mandela effect in a way, kind of in a broader spectrum. Um, but anyway, it made me think that that's kind of like what's happening here. Um, that it's this Mandela effect is just another glitch in the matrix or a glitch in the hologram. So anyway, so back to when the first time I experienced physically. So I look over and there um my shed just just like in the movies, okay, the Star Trek movies with the hologram and the glitch in the hologram, I swear that's exactly what it did. Okay, so and that happened a couple of times. Of course, I've seen the sparkler things in the air several times. I don't even know anymore if it's due to some other planetary bodies, but there certainly seems to be enough evidence for that, but it's not my focus anymore. Now I've kind of even come to a place now where becomes much more clear that there's like a program within the program running. But it's a cool thing. It's the experience that we've been granted, and whether it's an energetic experience, obviously, there's something really cool about it. But the experiences that I've been having lately are I'm disconnecting from now. Maybe this is I don't know. Maybe it's the start of kind of some kind of other astral travel or other dimensional travel or something. I don't know, but I have moments where I feel very my space within this space feels very different. It's a very different experience now, um, energetically, and even the information. It's all changing in very rapid space time, and the I don't know if that's just this moment that it's rapid. Uh, it seems to be that happens, that there's these waves, these moments of, rapid energy lifts and rapid information bursts and rapid sensory bursts. Um, and then it made me think of, so one of the things that was kind of the mind-blowing thing for me, again, I think is a glitch thing or a time-space thing, because it was the moment that my daughter said to me, that it had been almost 50 years since the women's equal rights movement. I was like, 50 years? What? What? It's really been that long? And why hasn't that been fixed yet? I mean, it was such a mind blower. The whole time thing, like I hadn't realized, like, where did all that time go? And so now here we are a couple of years later, then there's you go through the whole rabbit hole thing of uh kind of the same thing that happened, I think, to a lot of us. So in the 60s, it's this breaking of the programming. So I think about when I was born and what was happening. I actually watched a little documentary about the 60s, and the parallels that are happening are just too weird, too weird. Um, but again, I think of how deep that programming really goes, that what was happening in the country and what was being broadcast on television in 1968 when I'm only 2 years old. And I can, trust me, if you've ever had a 2-year old in your life, you'll know what I'm talking about as far as like how smart they really are. So, oh, I see where I was still moving the dang table. It was with this chair over here. All right, so focus. So the programming that I went through at 2 years old as to what was happening in our country at the time, was straight up trauma. They're showing images of brutal war in Vietnam, and everybody's got their television tuned to it. And as a 2-year-old, seeing those kinds of images is traumatic, because there's no understanding of that there's a separation, that this isn't the and then I was in Chicago, so what was happening actually in the city of Chicago in 1968 as well, the protest that was going on there. I mean, the conversations that my parents must have been having with their neighbors and friends, and my mom was a young woman, and at that time as well, and that's some serious programming and trauma. And I'm just now seeing that and recognizing it for what it is. And so again, there seems to be a whole rapid space and a rapid glitch in space and time for me again. And now I'm wondering, I had mentioned a couple of years ago about how people were felt paralyzed in what to do, what can we do? And I get that now. I get, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should just do myself at this point in rapid space and time and what I perceive as coming in the future, or where's my giving back point? Like I'm really kind of trying to, or am I still just going through deprogramming and um I don't know. And then I think about like how impressionable we are by suggestion as well. So CW Chanter, I just recently discovered his channel, and he's like put out some pretty mind-blowing videos for me in just the past like week that I've watched him. Not mind-blowing so much in okay, the bullshitter, the bullshitters within the truth community, but I love what he does as far as breaking shit down. Kind of common sense awareness kind of thing. Um, and when that happens, see, I think that this maybe is this just a personal trip for me because some barriers are being broke down, deprogramming the deprogramming, and when that happens, what is the shift that happens within ourselves in space and time? Our perception of it, our experience of it, and things are happening really rapidly. You know, all this Tataria information, and really recognizing. I mean, I think I've always known that perception of time, and but then I saw it removed out of 3 hours every day, and now I'm really recognizing the shifts, the energy shifts, and the sensory shifting in perception of what I see. And I just hope somebody else out there is on the same trip. It's just a magic carpet ride. What can I say? It is totally the magic carpet ride. So then awareness, okay? So, oh my goodness. So I don't know. I really feel like I need to actually shelter myself in a way. Shelter is kind of the wrong word. Um, just be extremely aware and extremely, you know, because I'm aware of this current glitch in this matrix, this energy shift, and however it is that it's affecting me. I mean, in astrology, they would say, well, this is a an opportunity, whether it's the new moon or uh, in a certain sun sign in astrology, and certainly, astrological alchemy is a thing, or planetary alchemy anyway. Uh, so I was thinking about like how impressionable we are by suggestion, and and then how suggestion is a vibration and intention is a vibration. And when you really start to think of these words as a vibrational energy, they change in some way. They actually become more empowering. And when you think about that, and actually words as spell casting, because I was thinking about this the other day too. Okay, do we have to have it? Okay, are our everyday just words? Okay, we know that they've been manipulated. Our everyday words, are we actually spell casting in every moment of every day, or does spell casting only happen when you put intention into it? Because I've been talking about how words, like our awareness of words and how we use them, and the way that we use them, and they can empower us. They empowered other people. I mean, okay, so here, how about this? How about what is that Scientology, power of suggestion, or the way that words are used with that? Like, is that this whole game? Do we empower ourselves in that way? Do we psycho-suggest ourselves into our own reality and what we experience? And there's this whole glitching of space and time. Are we creating that? Am I just creating that within my own reality? Are we creating this together as, you know, uh, uh, this experience? Is it just happening to us? Is it happening worldwide? And I mean, are we just seeing the different dimensional realities that is starting to really glitch and cross into each other? And do ultimately, regardless of all of that, ultimately, I have the opportunity to do, being empowered by the energy, by gnosis, by just myself and my own awareness, and the awareness of my environment. I go back to the whole creating your own experience. That is the magic carpet ride. That is the adventure of the experience. I think all part of this too is like, imagine this whole glitch space and time, and how like magical that is, because I'm really beginning to understand that creative energy is absolutely childlike wonderment, and our little spirits have been broken way, way long ago from birth. That's like one of the moments of clarity that can make and break a person, I think, in this whole deal. Is, our entire lives have been nothing but a deceptive manipulation, and blink of an eye. What is the blink of an eye? Time. And so I don't know. The moments that I can have when I'm on top of the mountain, and I'm sorry, I'm not even looking at the chat. Maybe I should go check that. Hi, Violet. Why don't you come on with me? I don't know if you have time right now, but you and I definitely would have an amazing conversation, I'm sure. Anyway, so awareness, suggestion, vibration. I'm kind of going through my notes here. And then I really would like to have this conversation with someone, but I don't think it's for this particular um, uh, live stream, or whatever the hell it is that I'm doing right here. So, yeah, back to sensory space and time. And I think maybe too, I've been thinking about this because I'm still trying to figure out what my higher self gift is. And I think this is part of my process of uh, really understanding space and time. Uh, because I think that there are people out there who have the ability to, um, or have had experiences that have allowed them to see the future, or maybe even perceive the past in a different way. Or we all have our own inner knowings about ourselves, and maybe our own experiences, maybe in this current experience that's tied into some previous experience, as is with life, right? Why not with other dimensional realities that are maybe coexisting at the same time? Anyway, my point is that I really think that there has something to do with my sensory perception of space and time. Whether or not that is another, way that you explain, astral travel or any other dimensional travel. I don't know. Maybe it is. But I think it's my space and time perception of this 3D reality in other time something, other time waves. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what it's for or how it works, or if I'm just supposed to experience. That's the thing. I really don't want to figure it out. I just want to let it be, because I think I kind of got on a trip of, okay, what's my what's my gift gonna be? I'm aware of some of my gifts, but I think that if when I get to, because I can overthink anything, right? Obviously. So anyway, yeah, I'm not trying to overthink this stuff anymore, and I really need to stay in my creative energy, and I need to not sabotage that, and oh, here's a really great thing, and I'm going to end it on this. Since we don't have anyone able to join me, I don't know how long I've been talking for, but however long. Hi, Stonely. You should come on. Click the link. I can talk for a little bit longer still. I can always talk with you forever. Anyway, now I forgot what I was saying. Oh, so check this out. Regardless of any deep thinking about all of this subject, here's the amazing thing about the 3D reality and what's possible. Because anything's possible. And what has been possible for me in this time of transformation, which I know we're all have been going through, which again flips right into the glitching of the hologram. Is it our own experience of transformation that's making that happen? Is it, hey, Stanley, is it our awareness of that's making it happen? I don't know. Let's get some answers from Mr. Stonely. Hi, how are you since the last time we had a chit chat?
Super.
Oh my goodness. Yes, Mr. Stonely is always super, and which is a good example, I think, for all of us. As far as being that moment. So I've been talking for a while. I know that I don't know how much you've been hearing, but what do you think about a glitch in the hologram? Have you had an experience of glitching in the hologram?
Well, in the Matrix?
Hologram, matrix, dimensional reality, realm, whatever, whatever you want to call it.
Well, this is how the Mandela effect that everybody keeps talking about plays into this is because, yes, we are going through, I call it, you call it a hologram. It's a matrix. We're in a matrix. We live in a matrix, and we're jumping around. We're moving. Yeah, things are not.
Yeah, we're jumping around and moving, aren't we? How has it been affecting you personally, though?
Well, but see, I know about it. So the big thing is knowing about it. If you know about it, then don't bother you so bad.
Well, I'm not saying that it bothers me. I think it's a cool thing that I notice the things that I notice. I mean, it's definitely breaking some kind of programming is definitely part of it as well.
Yeah, it's like having damned Alzheimer's, like all of a sudden.
Don't put Alzheimer's on me, Stoney. Come on now. I'm still a spring chicken.
Well, you remember one thing, and this is the way it is, and then all of a sudden it's different later on, and so it's a little confusing for people.
I think that's one way that the shifting of energy, the shifting of space and time, this whatever is the glitch in the matrix. I think it affects people in different ways. I think that some people feel and just the energy of it. Some people have other sensory perceptions of it. I'm telling you, our sensory perception of our 3D reality has everything to do with breaking the programming. It's up to us to choose to experience this in a completely different way. And whatever is happening, that opportunity is being given to us. That's kind of how I perceive it.
Well, you
Which
kind of got it. It's not easy. I mean, I make this sound easy. You
no, I'm sorry.
don't worry about the past and don't worry about the future. It's the past don't matter, and the future you might not even see it. So don't worry about that stuff ever. You worry about the moment. The right now is the most important time of your life. Right, this moment.
Well,
And
here's
but now this moment too. Now this next
someone else was talking about the moment.
and the next one and the next one, each moment. But don't worry about the past and don't worry about the future. We waste a lot of energy on those two things when they're totally out of our control.
So awareness basically is the moment. Okay. I mean, just simply being aware of each and every moment rather than an autopilot. Made part of the working machine of the matrix. We all want to try and break free of that as much as possible, which is a breaking free of space and time. I think, like, if there are people who are having those experiences at will, uh, you know, traveling to other realms and experiencing their experience in that way, that's pretty cool. I think that is probably what is supposed to happen.
Yeah, I bought some food.
You bought some what?
Some food.
What does that mean?
I bought some cool food. It was really expensive food.
Oh, I know. I went to the oh oh okay. Yeah, I went to and yeah, buying organic. What I need to do is I need to start going to the farmers market and not buying organic in the store. And I'm so lucky where I live. Like, we have everything available to us here. So
I wanted fancy food for today, not tomorrow, not yesterday, but today. I wanted fancy food.
how do we get on this subject? Stay on task, Stonely.
Well, so I bought some lob. I bought
So
some lob.
let me tell you, because I was just going to end this whole thing,
You
but
were gonna end it.
I was going to end it until you joined me, which thank you very much. But here's kind of what's happened since I've experienced my first physical uh, awareness of a glitch in the matrix. And that brings me to today and what happened last night. And the kind of the ultimate culmination of being aware of our current uh, potential possibilities. Okay. And in that awareness, whether you're going through, the shadow work or whatever you want to call it, or you're having the Mandela effect, whether you're doing energy work, whatever it is that you're doing at this time, and your own awareness of all of this, I've noticed that things have gotten just way, way, way better. um for me personally, for the people around me. And what I mean by that is the affirmation that my son gave me last night, um, when he actually, like, really went out of his way to say something that I just totally did not expect. Because he's seen, you know, the weight loss, he's seen the physical transformation, he's seen the house transformation, he's seen all that, right? But he said, what he said to me was, it's not just all of that stuff that is better, Mom. He says, I like the way that you're talking better too. And it really just stopped me in my tracks. Like, what have I just reached a place where now I'm not in that vibration of desperation? It's kind of like breaking free from so much programming that
it's
I'm resonating in a whole different place. And
getting to understand yourself and get it. See, when once we get to know ourselves better.
Well, I still don't know if I know myself, Stonely. Like, and I'm cool with that, though. Maybe that's the difference. Is I'm cool with that now.
I think you know yourself quite well.
Yeah, well, I thought I had always known myself quite well too, but constantly being, you know, reminded otherwise.
Well, it's the people that don't understand themselves or why they feel the way they do about certain things or why they think certain ways. Those are the people that are really mad. They just can't
Well,
wrap
so
their
what do you
brain
think
around
about this? What do you? I need to ask you this question. What do you think about
Oh,
this?
not
Because
on.
Violet says that timelines are all merging, and I agree with her. What do you think about that?
While they crisscross and stuff, yeah. Well, they're not merging really. I mean, there are crossovers. There's crossroads and whatnot. Yeah. In the matrix, the timelines. Yeah, of course there is.
So I've never really like looked into the singularity thing, but I feel as though there's maybe like with the expansion comes a convergence, and that is kind of like what sovereign unity is. Okay, that really is my perception of it, and it's my also my perception of the bliss and the, you know, purple plasma energy is there are it's a state of being where there's other sovereign beings there, but there's like no I don't want to say separation, but anyway, creation happens through that the vibration of all of that together. And I don't want to use the word collective. I don't like the word collective. I don't like the words community. I don't like these words. I like the word sovereignty. I like the word unity. But I don't know. That's just my perception of it. And I do think that there is an expansion and then convergence that goes on, kind of like the heartbeat of the universe.
I think we were a collective. Many years ago, we were a collective, and then we kind of became not a collective. Now we're going to turn back into a collective, like an ant pile.
So is that the singularity?
What?
Is that singularity? And so is singularity a good thing? Or I don't know.
Like an
I
ant
haven't
pile.
really heard too much about singularity, but I think what I've heard about it is that people don't want it. But I don't know any. I don't know. I don't know enough about it to really speak on what everybody is referring to as far as this singularity.
We'll just be zombie eyes, kind of like Borgs, and we'll just be part of a, like you said, a program. We'll virtually be part of a program here pretty soon, very soon. We're just about there already, but it's going to get worse, and we'll be part of we'll be mind manipulated zombies like ants, just like ants. We'll do what the queen bee says, and we'll just march along. Do 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 do. Oh, I'll pick up this leaf. I'm gonna pick up this leaf and take it home. Yeah, we need a leaf at home. Do 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 do, and we'll just carry on, and that's yeah. At least that's what my visions have told me happens.
Happens to all of us, or happens.
Yes, to civilization in the future.
And so, what's going to happen with those of us that we aren't going to conform to that? You know, do we should do, can we this has been my
They will probably.
contention.
They
This
will.
has been my contention from day one, is that we get to shift reality if we
They
want.
will. They will just kill you.
No, 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 no. I think I'm shifting out of this reality to a different reality.
If you're going to be a bad ant, they will just kill you.
Because that's what I feel like. I feel like I can actually, like, I think that's why I'm, cluing in on the whole space time glitching is, like, I don't know. I know that there's people out there who can time travel. I know this. There's
Well,
no doubt in my mind. Or
definitely.
call it whatever you want. Maybe it doesn't even have to be time travel. We've already got people who can remote view. Why can't we remote, and they can remote view the past? Apparently they can remote view the future too. So is that a form of time travel?
Simple process to understand first off, do you think time travel is possible? And of course it's possible. They'll figure it out eventually. So in the future, do you think they figure it out in the future? And so
I'm trying to figure it out before we become the artificial, and we become artificial intelligence. That's what I'm trying to do.
There's where our time travelers are coming from, is from the future, not from today, because we don't exactly have that time travel. Well,
see, Omar gets it. See,
in the
telepathic communication in fragmented forms. Absolutely, Omar. That this is what I'm sensing is, and so is that the definition of a cirrus? Is a cirrus, because I think that there are gifts that go back to ancestral links, that lineages. I think that that more and more the connection with old tribes and mythology and gods and stuff like this, is all just the whole freaking fun little time travel trip, from what I'm starting to gather.
Yeah.
And that would be a magic fucking carpet ride, right?
Yeah, but don't look ahead or backwards. Just look right here. Only right here you look. Don't look there and there.
Yeah, that's so that's why I really want to
Because that doesn't affect you, and you can't change it. There and there and there and all them other there's. Just deal with your 1 square foot. You get 1 square foot. I give you 1 square foot. You own that.
well, see, this is where I'm wondering, and do I even want to even do this anymore? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just need to just continue to, I don't know,
Stuff. You gotta do
get to be the mountain,
you gotta do stuff. You gotta. I mean, I don't care. It doesn't matter what you do, but you gotta do stuff. I do stuff that doesn't make no goddamn sense, none whatsoever. What the fuck am I doing this for? But I just do it because hey.
Well, it should be fun. I guess is the whatever you're doing should be fun, right? Right? And I enjoy talking to you, so hey, there it is there.
No, sometimes I totally hate doing what I'm doing, but I do it anyway.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm getting ready to go to the grocery store. I just wanted to jump on real quick, see if anyone wanted to jump on with me before I go. And
I went to the grocery store already. I bought ribeye steaks.
see, Omar knows what I'm talking about.
Ribeye steaks, they were ridiculous. You know what a fucking. And then on my way home, I went by the fish truck. I bought a couple of lobster tails. $50 for 2 lobster tails. Oh my goodness. And the steaks were like $25. Two damn steaks. So I got $75 meal already, and I ain't even got home with it.
But it was good though. I'll tell you that lobster is something else.
Oh, I've been craving it, and with a ribeye steak, I love my steak and lobster. Do that up in
Yeah, I like a good steak too.
with some butter and a stuffed potato. Yeah, my God.
Yesterday I made some really good turkey chili, and I made a cheesecake. I found this great sugar substitute stuff that's really, really good. Like you can't even tell the difference. But it's not like that poison stuff. Let me go get it.
But it cost me $75. $75 for the steak and the lobster. And that's
Do
not
you
even,
have
imagine if you went out for dinner and you ordered that. It would be like a $200 meal. My God.
do you live someplace where you can catch lobsters yourself?
No.
Okay, well see there's the
I
first
live
problem.
on, I live on the goddamn bald ass prairie.
Yeah, see that's the first problem, you know? Someone's got to go catch that for you and
Bring it out and bring it hundreds of miles to me. So
yeah,
I could eat it. And then charge me outrageous amounts of money for it.
right.
Bastards.
Which why should that be cost any more than well, it's
$25
more rare than wheat.
$25 $25 for one lobster tail? Fuck, you should be able to buy a whole fucking lobster for $25. Bastards. Crooks.
Crooks. Now there's a topic we can talk about.
What, crooks?
Yes.
Do you know something?
Are you familiar with CW Chanter's channel?
No.
Okay, well, I'll have to drop you a link in Skype to that.
Don't you be getting in trouble now.
But he's kind of over the past few days has like really found out some juicy stuff. Now it's kind of a
Well, crooks.
well, here's what it's done for me, okay? Because I'm not really into the whole David Wilcock, you know, Corey Good, Blue Avian, you know, that's not really my cup of tea. But what he's done is
Stuff.
is really shined a light, done some just basically it's just basic, really, investigation
He just did some stuff.
and you know is exposing some basic common sense, you know, if anybody were to do their own research. And I think about like at the beginning for me when you know I would certainly believe anything if it was presented well enough. And but I wonder is because there's a lot of information that, like, you know, David Wilcock was probably, even before I fell down the rabbit hole, I had seen a video of his on YouTube. You know, a friend showed me or something because I wasn't a YouTuber. And it was, you know, connecting some signs, and it was like basically a signs and symbols video. This is way back, David Wilcock. So in a way, you know, he kind of shed a big light for me, kind of planted a seed for me way back then before I even went down the rabbit hole. So, and I think that and I think that I think that he's had good intention in his heart. But I think that we all can get caught up.
Do you think he could be wrong?
Exactly. I mean, we've all been wrong. We can all get caught up believing something, this, that, or the other thing, right? But and so where does Wilfred? I guess.
Let me ask you a question then. What about Jesus? Do you think Jesus could have been wrong?
Well, that's a loaded question. I mean,
Well, what's the difference? You get some of these prophets, some of these people that think they know, they know, they got it all figured out. They got visions. They see it. You think they could be wrong?
well, Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think we all have been there at one point in time or another in this whole little game
Where you
down
thought
here
you
in the
knew.
rabbit hole, where we may have believed something and then come to find out, down the road that it you were wrong. Okay.
That's right.
So for me, like one thing would be I don't know. I was in a conversation with a couple of people. I was in a conversation with a couple old timers, right?
I'm not
And it
old.
was about CERN actually.
I'm not old.
And it was one of those moments where I said something and they both just busted up laughing. And I realized in that moment that it was bullshit. And it was so freeing. And then of course I started laughing too. But it was like what it took to break that to snap that, was just a couple of guys busting up laughing at the right moment for me to go, oh, there went the light bulb with me too. So I see CW Chanter and what he's doing is kind of being that same kind of like little light bulb moment probably for a lot of people, but I'm also wondering if it has anything to do with this whole shift in space and time thing that I'm perceiving going on, or the rapidness of changing events, or you know uh is it changing so rapidly that are we in a place of trying to catch up um to some of the things that we are now
It's like
finding out,
it's like I said
is
though.
that going to start happening faster and faster?
Well, uh, too many people hanging on to the past and chasing the future. You got to get in the moment. This is very important because those other two things are totally. For one thing, the future is constantly changing. I'm starting to learn that even our past is fucking changing. I don't know how the fuck that's happening, but it
That's
is.
what I'm talking about. It's really, really all switching up. I mean, like this is Mandela effect, 5.0 at this point. We're like this, things are starting to reach a whole nother level as far as shifting of space and time in both our physical perception, our mental perception. It's happening more
So
rapidly.
right. So what can you control? What do you have control of?
Well, I'm not tripping on it. I'm just talking about
Oh,
it.
I'm just
Okay, first
saying.
of all.
This is the thing that people start thinking or worrying about things they can't change, and
So does it force one then to be more aware of their moment? Which is a great
oh
thing
no,
because if
no,
you the more
no,
self-awareness you have in your moment
it works the
and
other
how
way.
you want
Rob,
to be that or define it, I mean, it's just like something as simple as being aware of our words and how we use them. Most people are not even aware. You
Rob,
walk into some place, hi, how are you? This is a perfect, this goes exactly back to what you do.
you,
When someone
you,
asks you that question, you always have the same answer because people don't pay attention regardless. They only pay attention now because they know that's you, which actually makes them want to know really more the
about
hear what the real answer is, if anything.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, that is such a basic programming thing. And
it is. It is
so I'm
very.
seeing this whole time and space thing really being a it's beyond Mandela effect now is where it's hitting.
Once you can control yourself in those manners, when you're understanding and you know yourself, then you can start to sort of manipulate or control people around you a little bit.
Well, who wants to control and manipulate people? I don't want to control and
Well,
manipulate people as
no,
much as I don't want to be controlled and manipulated. What are
I
you
want
talking about?
I want to trick them into learning. I want them to, you see, because people learn by example, right? We all learn by example. So you got to be that example, and then you trick them into learning because then they become like that too. Then You don't have to teach, like, it's not really manipulation. Well, it is because
Well,
of the
this is
power.
it. Okay,
I
look,
in a sense, it is
I wrote it right here.
because of my powers. I am manipulating you, and I am you see. But don't
Right,
don't be
right,
offended. Don't be offended. This is how I use my powers.
right. Exactly. We are such impressionable beings. Okay. And really, if you have a platform with a voice or just in just being aware, you really have a huge effect on on. We're so suggestive. We're super super suggestive beings. Does that mean we're naive, or what does that mean? What does that mean for us? What is the advantage to that as a
We're
species? As a species, what is the advantage to that?
curious. Yeah, very curious animal. We're worse than cats when it comes to curiosity.
Totally worse than cats. Totally worse than cats. I know.
Yeah, we're curious. We
uh, so do
reverse.
you think
That's why reverse psychology works.
is that why we get endless lives?
Reverse psychology works really good. You tell somebody not to do something, they'll fucking do her.
Yeah, that's true too.
And so that's the kind of manipulation I'm talking about. Is you don't have to be malicious or anything about manipulating people. You manipulate them to be better. You can trick them into being happier. Happy.
or even
You can make them sad too.
right.
People see we all have this ability over one another. We can make each other happy.
Well,
We
I don't
can
know. I'm going to disagree with you. Okay. I'm
we
going
can
to
make
disagree
each
with
other
you because that's giving your power and
sad.
control away. You don't want to do that. Nobody can make you do
Oh, we
shit
have.
unless they're holding a gun to your head. And even then, you have a choice.
I could piss you off in a minute, no doubt about it.
What did you just say?
I could piss you off in a minute.
Oh, I'm sure you could.
Okay, well that's my point.
uh, so
And you wouldn't even really be mad. I would just make you mad.
we started talking really quickly. And then I don't know how we got off the topic, but I think we should go back to it just really quickly. And then I've got to
What?
shut this
What?
down.
Dead
This
babies.
is getting too long. But corruption. Was it corruption that we brought up?
Corruption.
Corruption?
Dead babies. What?
Everything is corrupted.
You see?
Everything is corrupted.
No, no, I'm not. That's where you're wrong. I'm not corrupted.
Some would argue that steak and lobster corrupts you,
Not corrupt.
or smoking cigarettes corrupts you, corrupts your biology, or you know where is this holographic infection? Is it within us or is it exterior from us? Or is it a combination of both?
And we're not all the same. We're not all the
So
same.
that kind of ties into the two Earth theory, doesn't it? What do you think about that?
What if some people could smoke cigarettes for 100 years and it never bothered them? Ever.
Well, it reminds me of the book The Stand by Stephen King. Okay, why do some people, get the lung infection and die? Some cows do, some cows don't. Some people do, some people don't.
Yeah, I know people that are over 100 years old, smoked all their lives. How the fuck?
I told you I quit smoking, right?
No, you didn't.
Yep, I
No,
did.
no, no, you did tell me that, but you didn't quit.
I did. I mean, okay. So I bought one cigar in a month.
Do you see who you're talking to here?
That's all I did was one. I bought one cigar in a month, and I've had a couple of drags off a friend's cigarette. That's all I've done. But I've eaten a ton of sugar, so yeah. Now I'm corrupt again. Just like there's no winning. There's no winning. That's just the thing. If you try and like if you get caught up in the whole you're supposed to this healthy mind, body, soul, spiritual practices, blah 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 blah. I mean, Lord, that'll just make you crazy right there to begin with. I really okay, how about this one? I'm gonna talk about it. I don't give a fuck. So there's these videos of these women, and more power to them, okay, who are older, let's 50, 60, whatever, and they're like makeup, they do makeup videos. And there's one lady that I watched in particular who did a whole like wig, hair, makeup, and I mean by the time she was done, she did not look like the same person at all. And I'm thinking to myself, what is that about? I don't know. Like, I don't judge her at all because she was beautiful. I mean, you can't discount that. And if that makes her happy, then that's all great. And if that's what her boyfriend likes, then that's all good too. And but for me, it's like the mask is so thick, and we're talking the time involved to do it, and the boyfriends I'm sure sees her without all of that, so I just don't really understand it. But on the other hand, I guess if it makes her feel better, but where does the attraction lie? I don't know. I just don't know because I'm just trying to figure that one out, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that one
I'm,
out. Like, I can understand, like, doing stuff to make oneself feel better. I mean, I do that, okay? But I mean, these total transformations into something completely different is.
there's some strange things that goes on in people. Like, see, there's something that men have. I see it mostly in men. I see it also in women. I call it small man syndrome. Um, and usually, small man syndrome. People with small man syndrome, mostly males, they'll have a Harley Davidson, tattoos, a big nasty dog, a Rottweiler, or some guns. They always got guns, and they got small man syndrome. They really do. They just feel in. They just need to surround themselves in this sort of stuff.
So this is just another way that our programming, plays out within this whole holographic construct, and it's trying to break free. Because I mean, it's the labels. I really have become aware of labels and how when we start becoming more aware of breaking down those labels and not using them.
Not. It's a matter of not being confident and knowing yourself. Again, back to what I was saying. Know yourself. You got to really. That's not an easy thing to do in itself. Is know yourself.
Well, no, it's not an easy thing to do when you've been lied to about who the hell you are from the moment
Well,
you were
that's
born.
right. No,
you know?
no, trust me. No,
Then throw on top of that breaking the programming. So,
but
yeah, there's
but we see people trying to figure out other stuff all the time, and don't go trying to get all that stuff figured out until you figure yourself out. Once you figure yourself out, then you can start to look at some of these other things. There goes my compressor.
I hear. Yeah, Omar says it's MK.
Yeah,
Uh,
MK Ultra is a big deal nowadays, way more than most people really understand, or and it don't matter. There's nothing we can do about that either. I don't think we could shut it down. There's efforts going on right now to shut it down. I was working. Project Camelot had a thing on today. There's a whistleblower coming out of the CIA. He wants to shut this down. This MK Ultra stuff.
really?
Yes.
Hmm. Well, see, this would be very interesting timing again with like the whole the debunking, a bunch of misinformation within the truth community. I mean, there's some shaking up going on, I think, and I think that this is another level of, or I don't know, maybe it's just me. I can only talk about me because I noticed that, I'm still a baby in this whole dang thing. So, for sure, it's definitely, uh, but I gain a better understanding all the time of people who have been doing this for quite some time. Um, and their journeys and how they're at and different places they've been at, and then like I'm not the only one who's been attacked by others on doing this whole thing, and I'm not the only one who has been in desperation mode thinking it's going to be the end of the world. It's kind of nice to know that I'm not the only one, so I guess that's kind of why I just do these videos at all, and why I've started doing them from the beginning, is that I realized that I'm not the only one, and I needed other people to talk to, and just sharing our experience, right, is a helpful thing for anybody who happens upon it. And things, there is no such thing as coincidence, and someone's gonna see it, and yeah, I'm all in all, I mean, I'm just like, I think it's a pretty cool thing what's happening right now. This whole shifting of space and time thing for me, the way that I see things, and uh, I can't wait to see what else is revealed. Or I shouldn't say I can't wait. It'll be really cool to witness what is coming. What more is coming.
Not really, because I think it's all going to be fake. What's coming is fake.
But you're missing the point of what I'm talking about then, because
By
I'm
what
seeing
point?
I'm
Did you?
seeing myself so separated from the fakeness, okay, which is a really cool space to be. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm seeing happening. Oh, maybe I talked about this before you came on, or I was talking
You
about
talk about so much stuff before I come on, and it's not fair.
it. So what I was talking about was
You
how
can't.
I've been
You can't.
noticing myself being separated from reality, um, in a physical and mental way, or my perception of it is drastically changing at moments. Um, and so, like for instance, I was on top of a mountain, and I actually would, felt like I was that mountain. Like it was beautiful, a way to experience the mountain. It was a totally different way to experience the mountain. I wasn't just standing up on top of it. It wasn't me like looking around the whole thing. It was like I was actually a part of it, uh, physically. And then
Where
another
you?
thing that has
Where?
happened
Where?
is
Oh,
that I've also felt a total
were you?
separation from
Were
it,
you
a
a part
disconnect
of
as
it?
well.
Were you a part of it, or was it a part of you? You see, there's two ways that works.
Right, right.
Like you
So yeah, I've noticed just an
was.
extremes, I guess, in connectedness and
I noticed.
disconnectedness.
I noticed you put yourself first, and so if you put it in reverse, the mountain is part of you. You're not part of the mountain. Like,
Well, I was the mountain. That was just kind of the thing.
yeah, well, which comes first? Well,
Good
nonetheless,
point.
it's just more reflection. Um,
Good
more,
point.
more to reflect on. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. But that's kind of what I've been experiencing. I've been experiencing connectedness to the hologram and disconnectedness to it, to where I feel like I'm observing it from uh, not myself as being a connected player to it, but as a separate, to where I'm able to walk. My awareness of my walk within this space is different.
I feel like I've gotten to the point where I can manipulate it now. I,
That's what I'm talking about. So, you know, is this where it's
I'm
heading? Is this where it's heading? And that's exactly it. Are we heading towards our ability to be able to manipulate space and time ourselves? And is that what
one square
I
foot.
think that's what the sorcerers do? I think that's what magicians do. I think that
You own 1 square foot around you, and so when you can utilize that ability and just own it, that's yours. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you, Stonely. Do you have anything else you want to say before we go?
No.
You're awesome. Thank you, Omar and Violet and Tamara. I saw Tamara stopped in really quick, and thank you guys. Anybody who happens to see the message, I think that we're coming upon a moment in time where we have an opportunity to jump on our own ability to shift space and time. Mark my words, you're a time traveler. And with that, I bid you all have a good day, good weekend, good morning, good evening, good night. Bye now.